1800s, Drew Hill came out, 1996 to be exact. And I just realized the other day that we are technically child stars. We came into the industry straight out of high school into the music industry. A lot of people thought that we were older than we actually were when we first got into the game because we had mature voices. But rest assured, I am 1,000 years old this year.
And do you have anything to say to the people out there?
At the Constant Spring Golf Club, where you'll be seeing Cisco along with Drew Hill, you know, and they'll be performing live, giving you the time of our life.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you for watching eLive. I'm Navinia Beckford, and I do hope to see you on the next one.
Thanks so much for joining us for CVM News at noon for Tuesday, July 22, 2025. I'm Curlin Brown. The Office of the Political Ombudsman says in relation to recent reports surrounding alleged gunfire in central Kingston on Sunday, July 20, it continues to advise and implore political party supporters to show their support as safely and responsibly as possible. And as the country moves closer to the 2025 elections, the Political Ombudsman Division, in collaboration with the Police High Command, also says they will be observing the political atmosphere in the area. Meanwhile, the office continues to encourage an aura of peace and accountability amongst supporters, candidates, and the wider public. And our reporter Nika Lewis now recalls the incident where gunshots were fired during the JLP rally in Kingston Central, leading to the political ombudsman being called upon to address comments made by the JLP's Darrell Vaz, who was on the campaign trail.
Things moved apace, speaker after speaker, until explosions rang out nearby. A disruption of sorts during the JLP's Central Kingston Choose Jamaica public meeting Sunday night as Member of Parliament Donovan Williams addressed the gathering. He returned with a note not to be distracted, with suggestions of a political undertone.
They try it this evening, you know.
But political firebrand Darrell Vaz would go even further, suggesting it was a desperate attempt by their political rivals, whom he fears want to return Jamaica's politics to a time long gone and much bloodier. This after declaring, quote, "We're not afraid of gunshot."
What they want to do is to bring back the old-time politics that we're going way far from 1980 come right back from 1976.
Remarks that would soon see the PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell blasting Vaz and the JLP as being reckless and irresponsible. He says a complaint has also been filed against Vaz to the political ombudsman.
We've reported Minister Vaz to the political ombudsman. His conduct breaches standards of peace and fairness. It undermines our democracy. We demand Minister Vaz retract his comments immediately and reflect on his repeated use of threatening gestures. To all leaders, exercise integrity. The PNP remains committed to peaceful politics.
Meanwhile, the police have confirmed that those responsible for the shots have since been located and no stone will be left unturned, with a categorical reminder that the incident was not politically motivated.
To other news now, a high alert has been activated for a missing child of Lime Tree District in Trelawney, who has been missing since Friday, July 18. 12-year-old Dejanay Jones, who is of a dark complexion, slim build, and is approximately 162 centimeters or 5 feet 4 inches tall. Police reports indicate Dejanay was last seen at home up to 3 p.m. wearing a yellow blouse and an orange skirt. All efforts to locate her since have been unsuccessful. The Waitabit police are urging anyone with information on the whereabouts of 12-year-old Dejanay Jones to contact them at 876-6175-829, the 119 police emergency number, or the nearest police station. The risky practices among motorcyclists of riding with their mirrors removed or turned inward to squeeze through traffic have been tied to a worrying share of fatal crashes on Jamaica's roads. According to the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF's Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACP Dr. Gary Mackenzie, who heads the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, crash investigations over the past 3 to 4 years turned up more than 100 motorcycles were involved in fatal collisions, and in over half of those cases, the bikes had mirrors folded in or were missing altogether. ACP Mackenzie is issuing a caution. It is unlawful to operate a motorcycle without mirrors. He warns further, riders who disable their mirrors reduce the ability to detect advancing vehicles or those creeping into their blind spots during lane changes and overtakes. The police are renewing the appeal for riders to keep their safety gears intact and visible, stressing a working mirror could be the difference between a close call and a fatal crash. Investigations are underway into Monday's fatal crash along the Maypen to Williamsfield leg of Highway 2000 in the toll gate vicinity. 2 people lost their lives, a 3-year-old and her 29-year-old father. Lashana and Lucian Bennett, along with another person, were traveling in a BMW X6 when a tire blew out, causing the motor vehicle to flip. The police say Bennett was the driver. The sole survivor, a female who was still unidentified up to news time, was rushed from the scene for medical attention. Motorists are again being advised to exercise caution along the highway to reduce the occurrence of such tragedies. And the police are continuing to probe Monday afternoon's police operation in St Andrew, during which 5 men were shot dead and 4 firearms were reportedly seized. The Jamaica Constabulary Force says a 6th man who was involved is being sought. According to the police, in a release, the man escaped, and they're therefore asking Courtney Ashley, otherwise called Bloodstain, to report to CTOC. They're also asking anyone with information who can assist with their investigations to also contact CTOC or the nearest police station. Our newsroom will continue to track developments surrounding the operation, including the identity of the dead men. Let's get more from Amoy Harriet.
Scores of police officers and a crime scene tape decorating the street. An unfamiliar scene in the usually quiet community of Jackshill in Kingston earlier Monday. Reports are that a team from the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch, CTOC, acting on intelligence, conducted an operation in the area. Law enforcement sources allege that the deceased men were members of a Denham Town-based gang and were on their way to carry out a contract killing in Jackshill. It's further alleged that the police, who were tracking the men from elsewhere, confronted the group before they carried out the act. CVM News understands that the cops were reportedly fired at, which prompted the lawmen to return fire.
Multiple shots, rounds of shots, and based off my knowledge, some of them sound like they connect.
5 men were killed and 4 firearms reportedly seized. Now it's been years since the community has witnessed an incident like this.
This is Jackshill, community of Jackshill. Nothing like this has ever occurred before. So how long have you lived there? 19 years. And nothing of this sort? Nothing of this sort has ever transpired here in this community. So it's a bit shocking? It is a bit shocking.
There's a man who missed me a look. And they missed the shot them start to blaze from the ground. Cross, there's a gully across and dead my house. And they missed it, no, this is normal. First this is something like this. Because when you hear a gunshot, I say, upscale community it is. So this is a normal thing. So it have to be police or something, you know. But it's very scary. To be honest, very, very scary.
You say that for real?
And I'm not gonna get killed with these stray bullets.
The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, is reportedly investigating the incident. Amoy Harriet, CVM News.
And as the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, adds those 5 deaths to its probing list, reinforcing concerns about the deployment of body-worn cameras in planned police operations, our reporter Crystal Williams picks up with the latest figures.
According to recent reports, 177 persons have now been shot and killed by the security forces since the start of the year. Since 2024, a total of 39 law enforcement officers have been charged following an INDICOM investigation. In examining the 12-month period, July 18, 2024 to July 18, 2025, 288 persons have been shot and killed by the security forces. No body-worn cameras have been used by the JCF members in any of these incidents.
We're only halfway through this year, and 47% of the people killed so far this year, now at 179, this last Friday, 47% have been killed in planned operations.
Deputy Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, Hamish Campbell, says INDICOM has had conversations with the Jamaica Constabulary Force in relation to the deployment of body-worn cameras in previous years. However, he says reasons the footage is not useful in investigations continue to build. Some of these include malfunctioning cameras, inadequate storage space for data gathered, and ill-fitting uniforms.
There's a whole range of different issues, but at the moment, the JCF do actually have, certainly at the last count, probably nearly 800 body-worn cameras.
Campbell also says there are instances where cameras are worn, but they are not turned on by the wearing officers.
Last year, there were 7 incidents of shootings, 2 fatal, the others non-fatal, where body-worn cameras were worn by the police officers, but in each one of those cases, they were not turned on.
It is the fear of INDICOM and the wider public that this lapse in accountability from the JCF might be allowing gunmen to feel more emboldened to commit acts of injustice.
Why is this occurring? One argument is that the gunmen are suddenly becoming bolder, braver. Is that an argument? There are more gunmen to arrest, and therefore, per se, more of them are then being confronted and killed. Or are there some other issues?
Campbell attested to the fact that the lack of body-worn cameras during these operations leaves the justice system with multiple accounts of the incident being reported, rather than cold, hard, factual evidence.
You are left, the public are left with a one-sided account of matters which are not always being agreed to, in fact, sometimes vehemently being disagreed with by people who are in the property at the time these shootings are taking place, or witnesses nearby who provide a very different account from that provided to us by the police.
Crystal Williams, CVM News.
In a bid to ease the financial burden on parents ahead of the new school term, there is an initiative which is encouraging the recycling and reuse of textbooks. The project, Rebook It Club, offers used books for sale at reduced rates through its website. Organizers say it's a sustainable way to promote education access while supporting families who are struggling with back-to-school expenses. The initiative is set to be officially launched this Friday, July 25, and founder Carrie-Ann Smith-Barrick says the aim is to put learning within every child's reach.
There are some real gaps in the workforce, the quality of the workforce, particularly there are certain levels that we realize are stemming from educational gaps. And so what we've tried to do is that to kind of fortify the future's workforce, we have to start with our babies and our students from now.
Absolutely.
And in order to do that, the best way to do it is really just to ensure that they have what they need. Everybody a bright spark. I mean, everybody picking bright. Everybody, if you think about it, Jamaica has some of the most entrepreneurial, innovative people, but we're not the most educated. And so we think that's the only little thing that's holding us back. So providing a platform like this helps us to fill the gaps affordably and in a focused way with that focused community.
She was speaking on Sunrise. We'll have more CVM News at noon for you right after this.
I really think you should look into adding Island Net's unlimited internet as a reliable backup for your home and office. We can come over and we'll talk more.
How fast can you get?
That fast.
But how fast is islandness broadband? Fast enough people business fast?
Nope.
Fast enough prayer fast?
Nope.
How about fiber fast?
But not that kind of fiber.
They use fast broadband to provide reliability.
Experience the lightning fast wireless broadband and reliable business services.
It was rough. Every time the rain fall, the whole place wet up. I have to put the kids' them book in a bag until the place dry out. Ah boy, I couldn't afford a new roof. Then one day, Ross tell me about $1,000 I can get through the government. So I sent a letter to the ministry telling them wagwan. The officers came, them do them inspection where I was able to go to the hardware store, get the supply so my roof could have been fixed. I don't think I ever see my kids them smile so much yet. That means everything to me. The Ministry of Economic, Growth and Job Creation make my life better.
From politics to global events, from social issues to breaking news, Lead Story Prime dives deeper, cuts through the noise, and uncovers the stories that shape your world. Join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Lead Story Prime with me, George Davis, for an hour of incisive analysis, expert interviews, and unparalleled coverage of the issues you care about. Lead Story Prime, your front row seat to the most compelling discussions. Lead Story Prime, where the truth comes first. Only on CVM TV.
Attention registered voters! Remember to collect your renewed voter ID card before the upcoming general elections. If you registered to vote in 2016 or after and did not get your new ID card, it may have been automatically renewed. Simply visit your EOJ constituency office to collect your voter ID card. Contact the Electoral Office of Jamaica at 888-991-VOTE or 922-0425-9 for more information.
The time by Subaru is 12:50.
Glad you stayed with us. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett and Labour and Social Security Minister Colonel Charles Jr. say continued leadership is needed to expand the tourism sector and strengthen social protection programs. They, along with Culture Minister Olivia Grange, were among other party stalwarts on the Labour Party's rural tour in St. Ann, Northeastern.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett believes that a third term is necessary to continue expanding opportunities, particularly for small players in the sector. He explains that the government has already made strides, increasing visitors' arrivals from under 2 million in 2007 to over 4.3 million.
We're building more hotel rooms. At Richmond, we're putting 700 new rooms there with the Secrets brand. And groundbreaking will happen shortly. We're looking at the beach program to make sure that access to our beaches are available to everyone in these areas. We had only a little over $1 billion in earnings in 2007. Today, we have $4.5 billion of earnings. We employ 175,000 people working in hotels and attraction in Jamaica now, the largest portion of workers in any single industry in Jamaica.
Labour Minister Colonel Charles Jr., also back in a third term, promised to improve the Solidarity Program by allocating $1 billion to the initiative and revamping the program of advancement through health and education path.
Anyhow, the PNP is allowed to get back the handle. It's going to be difficult for us. And I'm going to tell you, because the Jamaica Labour Party has managed the country and put in place money for our future. $1 billion to help Jamaicans after a hurricane. $1 billion again to help poor Jamaicans who need help through solidarity. And much more to come in terms of the reformed and the improved PATH program. Because we have realized that a whole heap of people get taken off a path who shouldn't get taken off a path. And whole heap of people still upon part who shouldn't upon part.
Culture Minister Olivia Babsy-Grange also weighed in, aligning herself with Labour Minister Charles, who is among the latest Jamaican Labour Party MPs backing the government's rural school bus system. Minister Grange says the initiative will help children to travel to and from schools under much safer conditions. She was addressing JLP supporters in St. Ann Northeastern.
It's most bad mind why they would wish for the bus system to fail and kill off the picnic them. I've never seen anything like that in my life. That somebody who wants to lead the country, a party that wants to lead the country, would wish that the bus kill off for picnic them. That is wicked. That is a wicked set of people to even think about that.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
The story now of a rebound for two senior citizens in St. James benefiting from improved housing after a